Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about why PMAX campaigns are total shit for generating any kind of leads. So basically, anything else besides doing e-commerce business, where you have a product on your site and a price next to it and a way to purchase that product. You don't want to be using PMAX, okay? The reasons for this I'm going to cover on this video, in case you want to know, of course, why. And then I'm also going to give you what the alternatives are, which are much, much, much better alternatives for generating leads for any kind of service or a product that's a little bit more expensive, where you got to kind of generate leads for it. Or just in general, if you want to call it non-e-commerce. So with that said, I'll get right into the content. PMAX is a terrible way to generate leads due to how untargeted it is. That's the main key thing with all this. It's untargeted. It's hard enough to make money with online advertising. To add this additional barrier to your success of having a PMAX campaign, which might be easy to set up, but totally hard to get it working in terms of generating enough sales to cover all your expenses and the cost of the ad spend and still end up with money at the end of the day. If it were that easy, by the way, your competitors were already been doing it. If you could go into your Google Ads account and go, doo 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 doo, oh, I want to get rich today. Let's set up a PMAX campaign. Doo 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 doo. Enter, and then 3 days later, you're making fantastic money already. There has to be something. If you're going to make online advertising work in general, unless you've got a really, really hot product in a category where you're just automatically the best, to have an edge on your competition, what are you doing that's different than the competition? For the most part, the big differentiator for most of you guys is the targeting itself. Can you narrow down the targeting of your ads so that people are seeing your ads that are like perfect candidates for what you're selling? To the point where you could have an average advertisement, but because the perfect person is seeing this advertisement, they're going to buy. That is going to be your edge most of the time when you don't have a groundbreaking new technology or something like that that you're offering. So, just the very nature of PMAX not being targeted, you want to stay totally away from it, at least for doing and trying to gather a lead, not a sale of a product through a shopping cart. And signals that PMAX has, a lot of people don't know that signals are not actual targeting options. They're like suggestions saying like, I'd like you to target this, Google, by putting this signal in there, but they totally don't rely on it. And for the most part, they don't rely on it almost at all. And so you might as well just totally throw it out the window, because for the most part, it's not a targeting option for your PMAX. The PMAX campaign just kind of does what it wants to do. And actually, the reason why PMAX was even invented by Google, by the way, was, of course, this is not listed anywhere, but this is just my own opinion, but I think it's a pretty valid opinion. Smart shopping campaigns were working really good, which it was a type of shopping campaign you could run, which if you don't know what that is, that's the little image ads with the price on Google. And the smart shopping was very profitable, much more profitable than regular shopping campaigns. So then what they did is they said, okay, we're having trouble selling our display ads. So let's make the people that want to continue using smart shopping have to buy these display ads so that we can force them to buy something that doesn't sell to get what they ultimately want no matter what. And then so they packaged it up together, and now all the people that wanted to continue getting those sweet returns from smart shopping now have to buy the display ads. And so with that, okay, the ultimate, I kind of lost my train of thought here a little bit. The PMAX campaign isn't going to let you, okay, I remember how I was going to put this now. So basically, when you're doing PMAX campaigns, what Google, tying in with what I just said before, what Google is going to naturally want to do, because this is kind of the whole point of why they created PMAX campaigns in the first place, they're going to start giving you a bunch of display traffic, particularly if you're not trying to sell a product on a site that has a shopping cart or what have you, or a way to, buy it even though it's not through a shopping cart, but which is what the requirements are to run a shopping campaign. So they're going to ram all this display advertising traffic that is cheap and nobody basically wants it for the most part, even though it does have value if you know how to use it. But they're going to give you all this display traffic instead of running your ads on search, Google search. They're also going to run your ads on YouTube and so forth, because that's what PMAX is. PMAX is supposed to be all 5 campaign types: search, shopping, discovery, display, and YouTube, all rolled into one. And of the placements that would be more beneficial to you, basically on Google search, you're not going to be getting a high proportion of that, because they're trying to sell the stuff over here, the display ads, that people don't want, because that was the reason why they came up with PMAX in the first place. So when you're trying to use PMAX to save time, or taking maybe Google's recommendation to do PMAX or what have you to generate these leads, you're going to get a bunch of, half or more of your budget's going to go to these display ads, which are not going to bring you the quality of leads you want, because it's not targeted enough. For display ads to get it to actually work, you need to have your ads super targeted. And the same thing with YouTube ads, same thing with discovery ads. So because it's not targeted, you're going to find people that aren't not interested, or people that are not interested at all are going to be seeing your ads. 90+% of people that see your ads there on the display network, on YouTube or whatever, are not going to be interested, because they're not the right people to see it, because the ads are inherently not able to be set up with proper targeting, and uses like machine learning to try to figure out who's interested. But there's so many places that you could run ads online that it won't figure out in any short time span that it's necessary to not go broke before it figures it out. So you'll get mainly show to people who don't give a shit about your product or service and are not qualified prospects, even if they reply. Because a lot of times they don't have the money, or it's just not the right thing for them. And then on top of it, you'll get a lot of bot conversions as well. So, because what happens a lot of times that confuses people when they set up a PMAX, you may set up one after this. You say, Corey, I got 20 leads in 2 days. But you go check the leads, or if you're not paying attention to the leads are all fake leads, because your ads show up on different websites that bots go there and they click on your ad so that they can get a commission from Google by clicking on your ad, and then they go to your form and then they fill out the form with dog shit information so that they can trick Google. And they could also trick you to keep advertising. And this is a cottage industry in itself. People doing click fraud, going onto your websites that they own, clicking on the ads to earn a commission. So it's basically fake users. And then you not paying attention to the leads coming in, because they're coming in with the rest of your leads and you're not doing very good conversion tracking. All the leads that come from this PMAX campaign basically are all just fake leads. And so you don't pick up on that. So along with, if you do get leads, they're probably not going to be very qualified because your targeting wasn't right. Your goal is to get your ad set up in front of somebody that if they did respond, you could sell to that person. But in addition, you don't want bot leads, which you're mainly going to get that through Google Display Network when your targeting isn't set up the right way, i.e. too broad. And then most of your leads are just going to be bullshit bot created leads anyway. So if you do run PMAX to try to generate leads to sell a service or a more expensive product, that usually has a 2-step process to sell. You got to get them to call, and then you close them on the phone or what have you. You don't want to be using PMAX. In exchange, like I said on the first part of this video, I'm giving you the alternative to the PMAX, which is a much, much better alternative where you actually can make money. PMAX, if you guys, by the way, have a PMAX campaign for doing lead generation that actually does work and you could prove it, I'll pay you $50 because I want to see it myself. I have not personally seen a PMAX campaign profitable doing lead generation. I just literally, and I check out accounts all the time. I audit probably 10 accounts a month of different people that want to work for us here. At least maybe, just at least 10 I'll say. And the PMAX has been around for, you know what, a year and a half. So, and I still haven't seen one that works. So I should tell you something. Anyway, for the alternative. So like I said before, PMAX is all the different campaign types you could run all rolled in one, so that presumably people could save time, which saving time by wasting an ass load of money. You could just run each one of these campaign types by themselves and then get a level of precise targeting with them that it'll actually work. For the search ads that you want to run on Google itself, you want to run regular search ads, as you could pick the buyer terms that represent people that are actually serious and ready to buy, which then eliminates all the tire kickers. For example, if you're running a legal firm, you could target people, like let's say you're doing divorce law. You could put in, actually this is not a real good example. Let's do sales training. Let's say you offer a sales training service, right? You could target sales training, sales trainers, stuff like that. Or you could target keywords like sales training service, sales training agency, sales training firms. That one little small word after the keyword itself or the description of the service itself be the difference between making, you know, $2 for every sale or every dollar invested in ads and making $10 in sales for every dollar invested into ads. Or it can even be 10 times more because people that type in the word firm or agencies or whatever at the end of that sales training are 5-10 times more likely to be a serious buyer at the moment of searching. So instead of just targeting everything related to my niche or business type, I target people that are looking and are definitively showing us through their Google search are looking for somebody to hire and hire today or soon. And so if you do PMAX, they're not going to do that for you. If you run your own search campaign, you can narrow down to just the keywords that are buyer terms and not target any of the tire kickers and end up with 10 times more money for every dollar spent on ads, or at least 5x. So you could run the search ads the way that actually works for your market. Number two, as it comes to display and discovery ads, display ads again are ads that are going to run outside of Google.com on millions of different websites out there. You know, websites that you see banner ads, that's where you could run your ads, essentially. Discovery ads are there's just little ad placements that are on YouTube, little banner ad placements essentially, even though it's not a banner ad, and on Gmail, when people are accessing Gmail. So for these, you can't, with PMAX, you can't target competitor audiences or in-market audiences, which is where all the money is with these. If you target broader, so every person that sees your ad that aren't interested or not the right prospect, you're wasting money, because the higher your click-through rate on your ad, the cheaper the cost per click. So there's just a point in which your targeting is so narrow and so good that you can make money. And if you're beyond that, you won't make money anymore. So how can we narrow the targeting of our banner ads or ads in general that'll show up outside of Google.com so that there's no way we can't make money, because the people we're showing it to are so likely to be interested in what we have that we can make money. With the PMAX campaign, it's like you're literally, you know, like a flock of birds is flying over and you're trying to use a rifle to kill them. You're just shooting it and there's no chance it's going to hit a bird because there's too much space up there to be able to effectively nail anything. Versus using a sniper rifle and nailing a bird that's already sitting on a perch. So with that said, so your targeting is way too broad. Your money will basically be like, it's gone right away as soon as you start spending it, versus you're targeting the best 10,000 people on the internet that are perfect candidates for what you're selling, and then therefore could make money because you set up your own display and your own discovery ads that, first of all, should target your competitor audiences, which would be people that have been to your competitor's site recently in the last month. You could do that through custom intent audiences. You can check my other videos for that, how to set that up if you're interested. Just search my for that term on my channel homepage. You also could do in-market audiences as well, which also through custom intent audiences, you could set up an audience of people that have searched for your product or service in the recent past. So if you're selling fire-resistant paint, you could actually then say, with the custom intent audience, anytime somebody searched for fire-resistant paint companies or fire-resistant paint or what have you, ultimately I want my ad to show up for those people because they're in market for what you're selling. It's just a matter of they're going to go with you or somebody else. And obviously some of those people never buy from anybody, but let's say a third of them or greater are going to buy from somebody. And so when they see your ad while they're making their decision, you're in the running, versus if you don't, you're not. So, and going back to the sales training example, by the way, with something like that, I would just target the keywords like sales training agency, sales training firm, because data in being quality, it means data results being quality coming out. So if they're looking for something that for sure that they were looking for a firm they can hire, and you target those people that made that level of search on Google, your ads are really, really targeted that they're going to see on YouTube and all these other websites. So that's the other thing you're going to do with the display and discovery ads that's going to make money generally in every space. So you should be doing it. Of course, there's more to this other than the targeting. You got to have a good hook for your ad and taking them to a decent landing page. But there's always something that you could say in an ad that will stop and get anybody's attention and get them to stop and doing what they're doing. If you're selling something as boring as mortgage, you're a mortgage broker, you're selling mortgages to people, you could say, guaranteed lowest rate on your mortgage, or we'll give you a $50 Outback Steakhouse gift card, which we've done that exact promo for somebody before, and it works amazingly well. And then you take them to a little page that they have to fill out their form to inquire and get a quote for a mortgage, which for the most part, even if you are, have to give a gift card once in a while, you make so much on a sale that you could afford to give a few gift cards out. But, so you got to come up with a hook like that for your display or discovery ads in order to get results. Otherwise, even if they are perfect candidates for what you sell, you may not make money because you're not getting them to go to your website. If you could get them to go to your website when they see the ad, then you can remarket to them, and then it just has that much more likelihood of actually working for you. So really it's perfect targeting, people that are going to be buying in the near future, effective hook, and then effective sales process to turn those leads into something. And then of course, good tracking to make sure when you get a good quality lead coming in, that Google's ad system can optimize for more of those same quality leads, which is the reason why I put also something here about the tracking, because with PMAX, as I told you before, when you do that for lead generation, you're going to get a ton of bot clicks because your ads are going to show up on the display network and there's a lot of bot clicks that come in. But you're saying here, but Corey, if I run display ads, aren't I also going to get bot clicks even though I'm doing it through a regular display campaign and not through PMAX? What you do is you run something called offline conversion tracking, which is going to be able to take the leads you have, look at the leads and see if they're quality and if they turn into a sale. And if they're either quality or turn into a sale, we could send information back to Google Ads that said we got a quality lead. So with that gets rid of all the bot clicks, because as soon as you get a lead from a site that's getting a lot of bot traffic, and then you see the lead isn't good quality, the Google Ads will self-correct. Okay. You obviously could do the same thing with PMAX and do offline conversion tracking to try to help the system out. But at the end of the day, it's just going back to the shooting birds example. It's just so broad. No matter how good your ad is, it's just your targeting is so broad you cannot make money with it. So if you are going to make money with it, you run regular display campaigns or discovery ads. Furthermore, for YouTube ads, you're much better off running a regular YouTube ads campaign than doing that through PMAX, which you're going to be forced to do if you do PMAX. And because with PMAX, you can't target competitor videos or videos that review the competitors or people that are in market for what you sell right now or are watching videos about solving the problems that your product or service solves at hand. So to go into each one of these, similar to what I said before, you can create a custom intent audience targeting anybody who's been to your competitor site in the recent past. And you could, if you have your manual YouTube campaign set up, you can do that exclusively, just those people who've been to our competitor sites. You could also target videos that people are talking about your competitor's solution, that are reviewing your competitors, because people that are watching those videos are likely to buy from your market soon, so you want to get in front of them. You can also, of course, people, going back to the example I said before, if they're looking for dune buggies, if they were looking on Google for buy dune buggies or dune buggies for sale, you can actually target those people on YouTube with a video while they're watching just any video on YouTube, and that generally will work pretty good, but you can't do that with PMAX. You can also target people who are watching videos, going back to the dune buggy example, should I buy a dune buggy, or what kind of dune buggies are the best to purchase? And then those videos, you could show up exclusively on those videos, which those are usually going to be profitable to you as well, which you can't do through PMAX as well. So all this stuff is the stuff that normally works as it comes to running YouTube campaigns, but you can't do any of it with PMAX. So you're going to show up too broad, and the system's going to take way too long to figure out what type of videos it should be in front of, even though the system should be smart enough to get in front of the audiences I was talking about here. It's not. So, and as it comes to everything I said here, the most profitable are going to be people that are watching your competitors' videos on their channels. So you can actually have your video show up on their channels. And what I like to do is have a video that says why I'm better than that exact competitor that they're looking at. So if they're looking at a video for Thompson dune buggies, I'm going to have a video that says, see why Martin dune buggies are better than Thompson dune buggies. While they're watching that video ad shows up, and then we can redirect them to our site and show them side by side what's the difference between these two. So right away, if they were this far away from buying a Thompson dune buggy, we captured them at the last second. And effectively what you're doing, instead of trying to develop the market yourself and go out there and try to get people interested in buying dune buggies, you're simply taking the marketing budget of Thompson dune buggies that spent all this time and effort and money and planning to get somebody interested in buying a dune buggy, and then you're just simply coming in at the last second and saying, we actually have a dune buggy like them, but it's 20% cheaper and it's a little bit faster, so you should just buy ours. And you end up getting the sale for 10% of the marketing cost that Thompson dune buggies had to pay to get that user to that stage, which is why this actually always works, and we're always doing this for companies. And it's because it's just able to get customers at a really decent rate every time. So if you do YouTube ads, that's your go-to, even though people just watching, like if you're selling a antacid product, you're going to target people, searching for, how do I get rid of my antacid or heartburn problem? And you show up there. Or you go ahead and when somebody's searching for an antacid product on Google, or they were looking for a heartburn doctor on Google, you have your video ad show up for that person as they go to YouTube, while they're watching other videos, because it's just so targeted, or it's targeted enough, you can't go wrong. As long as you have a halfway decent video ad, you can drive traffic to your website and make money from it. Particularly if you have a good offer with it, because a great targeting without a great offer, and when I say offer, I don't mean the product or service itself. If you're selling a heartburn pill or technique or whatever, put on there something that says guarantee on your video ad, guaranteed way to get rid of heartburn in 20 seconds, see here, and then you take them to a landing page that offers a webinar showing how this actually works, and then versus just saying here's the product, you want to buy it, because it creates a little bit more, it's a more creative way to get interest, so to say. Sometimes you'll get away with just here's the product, you want to buy it or not, if it's a good enough product. A lot of times it takes a little bit, like I said before, let us give you a quote, and if we're not the cheapest, we'll give you a gift card, or we'll give you a visual demonstration of why this actually works on this webinar. You have to sign up. Guaranteed way for you to be able to fix your problem, though, will be shown on this webinar, and go that general route, because it creates a little bit of mystique to what you're offering. But anyway, so there's all this stuff that normally works on YouTube that you're not going to be able to do on PMAX. So there's a lot of stuff here you're not going to be able to do with YouTube, with PMAX, that it normally takes to make YouTube ads work. You can only do with a regular YouTube ad campaign, not with PMAX, because it's not targeted enough. If you're running PMAX for shopping campaigns, though, it works better than regular shopping campaigns. So shopping campaigns for e-commerce people, this is no longer lead gen. It actually is better than having a shopping campaign by itself. But for everything else, YouTube ads, display, discovery, search ads, you're going to do better with an individual campaign that's set up separately, not doing that through PMAX. And in general, if you're doing lead generation at all, or trying to create leads, if you don't do PMAX, it's bullshit, don't do it. You'll have shitty leads, too many bot leads most of the time, at the very least really shitty leads, and not enough good leads. Or a lot of leads, but they're shitty, or just not enough leads in general. So anyway, that's why you don't run PMAX for doing any kind of lead generation campaigns. And what is your alternative that's a much better route to go to generate leads using Google Ads and their platform? If you liked the video, I have a ton of other other videos on this channel about how to make money with PPC, as I'm giving you stuff that I've learned managing dozens of accounts here at our agency on an ongoing basis. The stuff that works, I share it with you here, as well as the stuff that doesn't work. So you want to get information coming straight from the source, from the person that strategizes about 50 campaigns at any given time. You can watch the channel. I'm giving it all to you here direct. Giving it all to you here direct. I also have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. You'll like the channel, you'll like the blog as well. It has a lot of other techniques and tips that are guaranteed to get results on your campaigns that you're trying to run there, as well as I give great information there coming from myself. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple of days' time. You can ask me any PPC related question you'd like. I'd be happy to try to help you out the best I can as well. If you're looking for a PPC agency that can get better results than any other PPC agency that you're going to be able to find, contact me at guaranteedppc.com. I'll be able to get you a quote on how much we can do for you and at what cost, and we can guarantee the results that we're providing to you up front. So if you're going to hire anybody now or in the future, truly the best place that you can go for that would be my agency, as I'm working directly with clients, and I'm the one with 15 plus years of experience to understand what works on your campaigns before you start, enough so I can guarantee results on your account. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you there. See you later.